to the Hudson Valley Knits podcast. I'm Amy. I am Memers on Ravelry and Memers66 on Instagram. Welcome to my back porch. I am podcasting, I am recording today from my back porch in St. Louis, Missouri. All is well here. This is episode, I think, you know what, I didn't even check, 100 and something, 107. Today is Saturday, October 5th. Only a couple of more weeks till Rhinebeck. I am super stoked. I have a couple of new whips to show you. I have one that has come a long way since I last recorded, and two finished objects to show you. One I will potentially wear, I might wear at Rhinebeck, I'm not sure. I showed you last episode, I kind of stuck in some pictures of me wearing the two sweaters I intend to bring for Rhinebeck, but I just finished one that was a whip in the last episode, and I really love it, but it's a hot sweater. It is really warm. Like, because of the way the weather is here in St. Louis, I don't think I'll be able to wear it to work because I'll be too hot in the office. Really, it's that warm. So I tried to put it on to wear for this podcast, but it's 74 degrees out right now, and I was like, within like 1 minute, I was way too uncomfortable, and I'm like, there's no way I can sit here throughout an entire recording in this sweater. Oh, and I got my hair cut today. That's the real reason I'm podcasting, because it's the only time my hair looks good. I made my appointment too late to be able to get my color done, but I'll have that done in time for Rhinebeck, of course. So yeah, let's jump right in. I have two finished objects, and one is the sweater, the Icy Spring Sweater by Joji Locatelli. I'm going to put it on just for this. And let's see. This is made with Spiritual Fiberworks. One is Aurora, her fingering weight, and the other is Flo, which is her mohair silk, and she dyed the fingering weight is a one of a kind, and the Flo is well, it doesn't look as nice with the shirt underneath, but this looks really good. It's so comfortable. It's a perfect fit. I love it. Let me push the chair back. It just fits beautifully. I've locked it out. The sleeves are a little long, but really, I'm just so happy with it. The neckline looks beautiful, and this necklace I'm wearing actually goes with it really well. Here's the little detail, and otherwise it's pretty much a boxy sweater with just it's a little longer in the back than the front. And I even like the sleeves at this length. So this is the other sweater that might be my Rhinebeck sweater, depending on how cold it is in New York when I get there for Rhinebeck, because it's hit or miss. That time of year in New York, it could be like this, 70 degrees, which I think it was last year. Or it can be freezing cold and snowing like it's been in other years, so you just never know. So this is fingering weight mohair held together, and the mohair silk was like a variegated, and the fingering weight was a solid, and it just created the most beautiful, beautiful coloring. I love it. All right, so that is that. Next, let me show you, these had just started in the last podcast. I told you I was making a pair of socks for my mom. This is also made with Spirit Trail Fiberworks. It's a little washed out. That's more true to the color. But this is Sana. It's a silk cashmere merino blend. It's superwash, and it is Spirit Trail Fiberworks. She is no longer dying, but I have boatloads of her yarn. So this is not a pattern per se. It is just a basic, it's a rib pattern with a little bit of interest. I pulled it from a Stitch dictionary. I think it was from Sensational Knitted Socks, this stitch pattern, but everything else is, you know, just my basic sock recipe. It's called the Sailor Rib Stitch, I think, but it's really beautiful, and I think my mom's gonna love it. We'll find out when I get to New York and give them to her for her early Christmas present. We're gonna open presents in October because I won't be there in Christmas, but that's all right. All right, so of course, now I'll go on to WIPs. Of course, I did cast on another pair of socks, and this is some very, very deep stash. Okay, let's try it again. So, of course, I cast on another pair of socks pretty much because I like to always have a pair of socks on the needle. This is a 3x1 rib, and it is West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm trying to find the color. Where are the colors listed? I don't see a color here. But this was a gift from, I think Little Bobbins gave this to me. We both started podcasting around the same time. And so we had, like, she was really kind, and I think she sent this to me as a Christmas present. When I did my senior love-along, she donated some washcloths, and she sent this as a little extra gift for me. That's what it was. And this is my first time knitting with this, and again, I can't believe there's no color listed on here, but there isn't. I really can't find one, but it's really beautiful. I love the colors, and I think I might give these to my son because they're kind of man colors, and he kind of likes that. So I don't think I'll finish them. I might finish them before I go to New York, and I'll see him and my daughter. My daughter's flying in from Salt Lake City. Very excited about seeing both my kids at the same time. I don't get that much. So the next WIP, I had just started this in the last podcast. This is a mystery knit along, and while it's officially over, maybe you don't want to see this, so I'm giving you the heads up. It is Hint of Autumn Cal by Tammy Gore, and there's a lot of interesting things to talk about with this shawl. I had decided on 3 colors. Let me get them out. This yarn is Lisa Souza. Sorry about our neighbor's dog, but I don't have any left of the color too. But this is by Lisa Souza. I bought it at Rhinebeck last year, and I really love it. It is also a merino cashmere silk blend, or it could be merino cashmere nylon. Let me see. Merino cashmere. Okay, just merino and cashmere. Super, super soft. Definitely a fingering weight. But what happened was, in one of the clues, I think it was clue 3, I did an extra repeat of a section. So I did one section twice. So I have, I did like 6 pairs of rows, so 12 extra rows, and I ended that left me with 6 extra stitches. So I could have ripped it out. I ended up running out of color too because of that, and because of my gauges also, because my gauge is a little loose. And I might run out of color 1, but I'm not worried because I found these two colors, which are not coming up good in this light, but that's like a brownish with a hint of purple. And this is like it's mostly blue, but it has some green in it, which you can see. This is actually left over from Mom's socks. But these will both go really well in this shawl, and I think I will use one or both for when it requests color 2. And the color 3 and 4, I decided to use the same color, which is this. What happened was this purple and this gold and this peachy pink were actually knit up as a sample in her booth at Rhinebeck, and they look so beautiful together, so I bought all 3. And I guess I'm gonna stop talking right now, and geez, why don't I just show you the shawl? It's really long. So here's the start. I'm showing you the wrong side. Let me flip it. Okay, it starts with this, and then we go to this. Here's where I made, as you can see right here, I made two, I did this again. I don't know what I was thinking, probably watching TV. And then this, and now this is the beginning of clue 5, and where I take in that other color. You can see it looks beautiful. So what I'm doing is I decreased I did this, and this should be thicker, but I did it less because I ran out of yarn. And then I'm also doing these 2 rows less, these color 1 sections, to get my stitch count back to where it should be, and to also make sure I have enough of color 1, the gold, to finish. And then, like I said, I think I'll keep this for the stripes that need to be the contrasting colors 3 and 4, and then I'm thinking I'm going to use this, maybe I'll use the brown. The brown is more autumnal, so I think I'll use this to replace the purple as color 2. And that's what I'm going to do. So here it is. This is going to be huge but beautiful and soft, and I can't wait to finish it. I will, if it's not cold, if it's warmer in New York during Rhinebeck, I'll probably just be walking around wearing this or my Color Craze shawl by Tammy Gore, one or the other. They're both gorgeous, and that'll be perfect for a warmer autumn day. I love Tammy Gore's. Tammy Gore's have her shawls I have found. I have a couple more on my in my queue, but I find her patterns very meditative, simple yet with enough interest, and just really thought out well. Like, this looks really simple, but to keep track of these stitches at the end and do your increase, that's, you know, that takes some math and figuring out, and it's just very well written and designed and really great. Highly recommend Tammy Gore for nothing crazy but nothing boring, and I don't know, I just really like it. It's a nice, simple, interesting shawl. I'm babbling. It's not crazy like a West Knits shawl would be, right? Where you have to do all these crazy things. And by the way, have you peeped at his first clue came out yesterday, Friday? Wow, it's already, I'm thinking about getting it. I won't do a Mystery Cal with Stephen West because while I love him for his personality. Sorry about the dog, but. And his designs are great. They're not always for me. But this one looks like something I might love to make. And I bought his latest shawl book that came out, West Knits Shawls 3 for the 10-year anniversary. There's a lot of shawls on there I'd love to make. But I don't know if I'll be able to make them all. Anyway, that is the Tammy Gore shawl. Let me show you another shawl that I cast on and tell you a little bit about it. This is called the sideways shawl. Hold on. Oh no, that's wrong. This shawl is called the Strand Wanderer. Okay. This pattern, so there's a local knitting group here called the Archway Knitters, and they do a retreat twice a year, but it's local. It's at a local Drury hotel, and they just all get together and knit and do a little class, and it's just have giveaways, and I won the yarn that I'm making this shawl with. And we go out and eat, and it was so much fun. I really, really loved it. In any case, they have a pattern that they picked to use for the class they were teaching, which was purling backwards. And it's for this shawl because there's a section in it where you have to keep turning your work, but if you know how to purl or knit backwards, it makes it a whole lot easier. And it's also a great pattern for variegated yarns. So I won a door prize, and I won a skein of this colorway called Blood Orange by Diabolical Knits, who is Rachel, who is a member of our group. She's my neighbor, y'all. I said y'all, I meant you guys. I got picked, my name got picked early, so I got to pick this color. She had another colorway which I loved that I also managed to buy from her booth. As soon as I finish the Color Craze shawl, I'll resume knitting this, but this is what I knit while I was at the retreat. I had another skein wound up for it, but when I won this, of course, I had to wind it up right away. Let me just figure out which is the front and which is the back, because it's hard to tell. I think this is the front. It really, you can't tell. But you knit back and forth to here, and then you knit part of the way, and then you knit sideways, and then you knit this, and then you start knitting back and forth. So it's very cool the way this person came up with a way to play with the colors in a variegated skein of yarn. I only have one skein, which is a little over 400 yards, and the pattern is written for 500 yards for a 150 gram skein of Woolmize Pure. So my shawl will end up being a lot shorter. I'm trying to find a picture of the whole shawl so you can see it's very long and thin. So it will play more like a scarf. I don't have the picture of him wearing it, but you can see from the schematic here, the shape. It will be fine if mine's a little smaller, because it will definitely be long enough to go around the neck. And I know that my sister Kim would love these colors, and I think in lieu of that rose gold shawl this year, which I'll still finish for her, maybe I'll give her this for Christmas. I'm not sure if I can finish it by Rhinebeck, but I could finish it for her by Christmas and you know, mail it to her. So I really am enjoying it. When I first saw it, when I signed up for the class and she sent me the pattern as a gift, I really didn't think I would, I didn't see this shawl as one that I would normally think to knit, but I'm so glad I did. I really love the way It plays with the colors in the variegated skein, and once I got the hang of the purling backwards, it made it so much easier, and there's plenty of YouTube videos if you want to do that. You should take the time to learn to knit backwards, but it was great. So I have one last project on the needles. I'm almost 100% positive I won't be able to wear this at Rhinebeck unless, oh sorry, I have hair in my mouth, unless I finish that Hint of Autumn shawl and then just focus on this, but still that would be cutting it real close. But I am knitting, I don't know how to pronounce it, Cornish cardigan by Kate Davies. I took advantage of my 10% discount that I got because I'm a member of her pattern club this year. I usually do all of her pattern clubs, and you get a 10% discount when you do. So anyway, I cast on one sleeve and knit a ways for a swatch. And now I'm working on the second sleeve, and when they're both the same size, I usually will put them on the same needle and just continue to knit them together. I like to do that because it just ensures that both of your sleeves are identical. However, I have a slight concern. So while I do have gauge in the sleeve part, the wrist part here is just a wee bit too tight. Like, this one actually feels good, but this one had to really, well, maybe it's not too bad. I'm debating doing this over and because this, and making this a little looser, but now I'm thinking maybe not. I don't know. I guess it's all right. I was just thinking if I had a shirt under it, it might be a little too tight, but now I'm wondering if maybe I'm overreacting. Yeah, you can see how I'm fighting to get it over my hand there for a little bit. I was thinking, what I did is I did go down a needle size when I knit the cuff, and I was just thinking it'd be better to just knit it in the same size needle that I'm knitting the body and the sleeves, and just let it be a little looser. But I can always change my mind, and I can snip them off and then pick up stitches and graft a new cuff to it. I've done that before. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so I'm knitting on the sleeves for this. I am really loving this yarn. It's her Donegal Tweed, right? No, yeah. Let me pull it out. She doesn't, I don't think she makes this yarn anymore, right? She discontinued it, but here it's Malarkey Tweed. It's really nice. It's a shame she has discontinued it. It's woolen spun, it's single ply, tightly twisted. Let me show you the colors. That's the body of it. I basically bought the colors she, you know, recommends in the pattern. Here they are. And, you know, they're all in the sleeve. But I'm really loving this. So this is my next sweater. I was thinking of casting on a short sleeve sweater instead, but I ended up going with this. I had the swatch done, and I said, let me finish this while, you know, because if you wait too long, then your swatch kind of is no longer relevant because, you know, your attention can change over time. That's my neighbor's dog, Roxy. She says, she's saying hello to me. She can't even see me. She's barking to get in. She's a love. I love Roxy. Yeah, so that's all my knitting. I did want to show you something. I don't usually show stash enhancements. And quite honestly, I've tried really hard not to buy a lot of yarn this past year. I know I have bought yarn, but I think I'm doing much better than I used to be. But at the retreat with the knitting group that I was telling you about, I did buy from some of our local vendors. So let me show you that. This is the other diabolical variegated skein that I fell in love with. This is a color that I know my husband would love. And I've knit him a hat. This is called Starry, Very Starry. And years ago, I knit Mark a hat with a bulky weight yarn called Starry Starry Night by Dragonfly Fibers. And these are pretty much the same colors, but Mark loves these colors a lot. Oh, I hear the hummingbird. I don't think you can see it. It's checking me out. Ooh. They'll probably fly behind me because I'm right in their path. I'm kind of in a weird spot because I wanted you to have a nice background, so I moved everything around. But the hummingbirds here have come right up to my face and they're just kind of checking me out. It's very, very weird, but he's sipping away. So that's one. These are also they're all from Diabolical Yarns. And the other two skeins I got are two new colors that she put together. And God, these beautiful. I'm gonna ask her. Oh, I think I would love to knit a sweater with one of these. This is a single ply. It is 100% superwash merino wool, 115 grams, 434 yards. These are two new colors. The pink is called Amortentia, and the gold is called Big Damn Heroes, and they're gorgeous. Love them. I love them. And so that was my stash enhancement from that. I went there with the intention I would buy just one skein from someone to help support, you know, my local vendors, and I ended up buying three because Rachel's so damn good. Her colors were beautiful. So I have a request. I showed you, but the first thing I showed you was the finished object, the sweater, with the Spirit Trail Fiberworks yarn. It's mohair and fingering held together. Have you knit Birds of a Feather shawl? I have 1.5 skeins left of this stuff, plus whatever I had from my gauge swatch. And I'm wondering if I could swing it Birds of a Feather shawl with this. What do you think? Because, I mean, this is a lot left over, and it's not cheap, so it's got to be something. Otherwise, if not that, what do you think I should make with this? It's probably about 600 yards each color. If you have any ideas, let me know. I definitely want to use this up. And that, my friends, that's it. I will be at Rhinebeck. And again, if you didn't watch my last podcast, if I'm acting a little weird, I hope you understand. This will be my first Rhinebeck without Sandy, and it's going to be, I'll be on and off emotionally. I'll have my daughter there with me, which will help a lot because, you know, she's my happiness. But, yeah, I mean, and I love hugs, so I'm definitely a hugger. Just come right up and give me a hug, and I'd love that. And say hello. I mean, I know I'm not one of the top stars in the knitting vlog arena, but I'd love to see you and hear from you if you see me at Rhinebeck. And I know a few of you definitely will be there to say hello. So, stay strong, be kind, and keep on knitting.